Yeah, hi there coaches. Okay, so on this video I'm going to talk to you about my coaching philosophy and some of the things that are important to me when working with these young people. The first one is honesty. I found that if you are honest with players and parents, it's much easier for you to find solutions and move forward than it is if you sugarcoat things or if you decide to elaborate. One of the things that we talked about earlier in one of the earlier chapters is the 7 deadly sins of communication, and one of them is lying, one of them is exaggerating. So I try really hard to be honest with players and parents, even when that isn't the easiest thing to do. Even when you've got a kid that works really hard in practice and they give everything they've got and they want to be on the team or in the team, but they're just not technically good enough. And I'll help them with a workout plan, I'll help them with a at-home plan, but ultimately if they're not able to get to the level that they need to get to, then they just won't get very many minutes or playing time. And if that's the case, then maybe the parent and the player need to decide, are they going to move to a different team where they get more opportunity, or are they going to up their work rate to get more opportunity on this team? So honesty is the first one that I kind of nail my colours to, that I will be brutally honest and I will be as factually correct as I can, and I will share my opinion on a player's ability, development, or what they need to do to get more opportunity, so that everyone knows what the plan is. So and I will share that with everybody. In the evaluations that I do, I will give as much thought as I can to how am I best serving this player? What information can I put down on this piece of paper that is going to help them the most? Give them the most opportunity to grow, give them the most constructive feedback on what they've done to this point, and help them to be able to understand what they need to do to get to the next level. So one of my coaching philosophies is honesty. Another one is respect. And respect is something that as a coach you expect to get from your players, and you should expect to get from your parents, but you have to earn it, and you have to be respectful of them, and they have to understand that you have their best interests at heart, that you are there to support, guide and help them to move on to the next year of their life, the next year of their development as a human being, before you're worried about results on the soccer field, before you're worried about how are they going to develop as a soccer player. So, and respect is something that I think that is not given, it has to be earned, and it's something that you can lose if you're not careful, if you're not paying attention to the signs, if you're not in love with the process and making sure that you give 100% of yourself to the process and the player and the family that you're there to support. So one of my other coaching philosophies is respect. Respect for the game, respect for the player, respect for the opponent, respect for the parent, respect for the officials. So even though I don't agree with a decision that's made, even though I don't agree with a parent's opinion of their son or daughter's performance level, even though I don't agree with a player's attitude or their ability to turn up to practice on time, I still respect them as a person. So, maybe that even if they've crossed the line in some way and they've made a decision that's a poor decision, I will still respect them and give them the opportunity to correct that and fix that, so that that relationship, coach-player, coach-parent, coach-official relationship doesn't break down. Something that I found very difficult on numerous occasions is to maintain respect, and it's something that I've had to develop personally and I continue to develop and I continue to work on it. And when I catch myself saying something to an official because they've just made what I consider to be a horrendous mistake, I make sure that I apologise to them. I make sure that at the end of the game I shake their hand and I say, look, I'm really sorry, I got caught up in that moment. I respect your decision, I respect your authority to make that decision. I didn't agree with it, but I'm here to apologise to you because I was out of line and I wanted you to know that. So, you know, it's something that I'm continually working on to make sure that my competitive nature, my competitive juices don't get out of line with my respect for the game. And, you know, believe me, I've had plenty of issues with that in the past, and as a coach, but never as a player, which is really interesting. I've never been in trouble with a referee or an official as a player, but as a coach I have, and I've had I've been suspended because I lacked respect for the performance of the official, and that's something that, you know, 9 years ago I've made a conscious effort to change, and now it's become one of my cornerstones of my coaching philosophy. So respect is the second one. The third one is teamwork, is putting the team first, making sure that you are not bigger than the team. As a coach, as a player, as a parent, you are not a distraction to your team, to your environment, to your learning, to other people's learning. To understand that soccer is a game played by 11 individuals on the park, but there's usually 5 or 6 waiting to come on too. And it takes the collective effort of all of them to get the outcome. It takes the collective effort of everyone in practice to get the best outcome in practice. It takes the collective effort of everyone in games to get the best outcome. And, you know, when you're not having a particularly good game and you're struggling, it's that collective effort of the other 10 players on the pitch that will pull you up, that will help you to get your performance level up, to be able to forget about what just happened, because you're all in this together. So it's almost like that siege mentality that we talked about before, and it's making sure that the team and the unit is bigger than you are, is more important than you are. You are a piece, you may be a very important piece, but you are still just a piece. If you were removed, the team would still be there. So it's respect for your teammates, respect for your position within the group, but remembering that the group is bigger than you are. You are less important as an individual. Your needs are less important than the needs of the team. And the final one that I've kind of, I explained earlier, it's a real bugbear for me, is be on time. If you're expected to be at practice at 4 o'clock, at 5 o'clock, at 6 o'clock, make sure you're there at 3:45, 4:45, 5:45, so that you can take 15 minutes to get yourself ready. You can chat with your mate, you can have your phone call with your girlfriend, whatever it is. But when that clock strikes 5 o'clock, you've got your shin guards on, you've got your boots on, you've got your ball out, you're ready to go. Not that's when you turn up. And for me, being on time comes back to respect. You know, you have to respect the other 15 people that have managed to get there on time and are ready to start, and they are expected to get there. So are you. And as a coach, you have to toe that line as well. You can't be late. You can't be turning up to practice at 5:05 because you left work late. If there's 2 of you coaching, one of you can get there before the other, by all means, but you know, one of you has to be there before 5 o'clock, without a doubt. So, you know, those are the four for me. You know, it's honesty, it's respect, it's teamwork, and it's be on time. And that is my coaching philosophy. That is the cornerstones of what I teach my players and what I believe in as the life skills that I want them to take away when they're done working with me and they move on to the next coach, or they move on to the next sport, or they move on to their first job, or they go back to the classroom, whatever it is, so that they have those principles, if you like, ground into them, so that they're like second nature. so that they do turn up on time, they do respect people, excuse me, they do understand that the team is more important than they are, and they are honest. Alright, that's it. That's my coaching philosophy. Hope it helped. Talk to you later. Bye bye.